Hello and welcome to a Zendikar Rising traditional draft on MtG Arena. It's been quite a few years since I recorded a video, so I'll say a few words about why I'm doing this now. The timestamp for the draft start is in the description below if you want to hop straight into the action. Oh, and I should mention that English is not my native language, which is likely obvious by now, but anyway, please excuse me for any weird pronunciation of words, for instance. Drafting is my favorite way of playing Magic the Gathering, and Arena has only made me draft more in the recent years. In fact, I have collected all the sets from Guilds of Ravnica onwards in Magic Arena by drafting only. While the account is not free to play, as I have paid €105 in the beginning to kickstart things, it's been almost 2 years since I bought any gems. And as you can see, the gem stash has only been getting larger since then. My goal is to keep collecting at least standard sets without using any money. The wildcards accumulate quite well as well when you don't have to craft any standard cards, as you can see here. Basically, this means that I can play any historic deck as well, even though I cannot usually complete historic releases with traditional draft because so far they haven't been available as such. My strategy has been to do traditional drafts after a new set releases and not open any prize packs or packs gained from the set mastery system until I have enough of them accumulated to let the 5th copy protection system guarantee me all rares and mythic rares at 4 copies once I open the packs. So I just have to basically calculate how many mythic rares I'm still missing and how many unopened packs I have for that set, and depending on the rate how often the mythic rare appears in the rare slots, you can just make a pretty simple calculation of how many packs you need to open. Usually it's been from 250 to 300 packs, at which point I have been missing like 30 or so mythics, and that's enough to guarantee everything as for 4 of. This means that I basically pick any mythic rare I yet don't have as a 4-off, because each mythic gets me closer to set completion. The mythic rares are the bottleneck, so rare drafting regular rares is unnecessary. Normally I decrease my drafting quite a bit after completing a set, but even though I just filled Zendikar Rising, I find the format quite fun and I wanted to draft more, which also made me think I might as well record some content for YouTube. The thing is that there is not a lot of traditional draft content compared to premier drafts. The latter is ranked, which explains this, but I myself largely prefer the best of 3 modes for competitive Magic, and that's why I don't really do a lot of premier drafts unless it's the only option, like for Amonkhet Remastered. I hope that Calades Remastered would have a best of 3 option for drafting, but I don't consider it very likely. Anyway, if you happen to like limited Magic with sideboards as well, here's some extra content for that. So now we can start the draft. I'll just cut any downtime. So see you when the draft starts. Okay, so as you can see I have collected every card, so I don't need to pick this mythic rare just because I want to get another mythic. But it's of course a decent card. Not like a super bomby planeswalker, it's a kind of fair planeswalker, but still a nice card. And the best cards in this pack are the mythic rare. All the uncommons are quite nice, and the Into the Royal is of course great. Vanquish the Weak is nice too, but I think these are quite even-ish in power level, and I do like to play with mythic rares just for the fun aspect of it. I have played a lot of all these other cards, but not maybe a couple of times with Nahiri, so let's pick Nahiri here now. If there was like Royal Eruption in there, I would have definitely picked that one over Nahiri, but the commons and uncommons were not that strong compared to the mythic rare. So basically now I'm looking to perhaps draft white-red, but I'm in no way locked into that color combination. So now the best card is likely the Mystic in here, and if I would want to sort of stick to my first pick, I would probably just pick the synchronized spellcraft, but it's not very exciting. I'd rather keep options open, and I picked the best card now, and it is this uncommon blue-red wizard. So there are good options in the uncommon section, and I'm not going to pick any of these commons over the uncommons. So these spell lands, I'm pretty sure everyone by now knows that these are just very good. Very good. They often go into the lands a lot, not always, but to have an option to play it as a land or a useful spell is of course amazing. So this is my first inclination. It would go with both of my picks, whether I go blue-red or blue or red-white. This is good in a deck with a lot of rogues, but blue-red won't have that many rogues, so I will take the red card here. It's just better for my considering my earlier picks. So I'm still going to be picking a red card in here. Both of the uncommons are very nice. This, of course, is a little bit better, but it does require maybe, well, not even that much. At 5 mana it is still a very nice card, so it doesn't really require you to invest heavily into the party mechanic. So I'll just think I will take the warrior here, because I have found it to be having a little more impact. This rogue is at its best in a black-red deck with a lot of removal, so that you can guarantee it hitting more often. So red is somewhat open, and I can't say really much about the other colors. I think white isn't very open here. Too bad there aren't any wizards. I mean, blue wizards, so I don't really know if I'm going to end up in blue, but the pick here is between one of these. But yeah, I mean, of course, it's going to be the removal. This is just a 3 mana 3/2, not very exciting. I don't really know if I'm actually playing any wizards. This is not a great removal spell, but you want to play one of these basically always. One word about the Syndiclasm, which I didn't mention at all. I have been unimpressed by it. It is more like a sideboard card. There are a few archetypes that really can get blown out by Syndiclasm, but there are a lot of archetypes that really don't care about it. And then, of course, if I happen to end up myself with a lot of 1 and 2 toughness creatures, it's only about going to be worse. So I don't really value that card very high. Okay, so here we have Rapid Bite, Tazim Raptor, and probably the Pyroclastic Hellion. I might actually take the green card here, because I don't really see. I want to see if green ends up being open, and I really want to have this. The other cards weren't really that strong. Here, field research is going to actually it depends on, because it's fine to have one of these white cards if I end up with this Nahiri, but I think that overall I don't really know about my second color, so I take the card that is better, best of out of these three, so I'll take the card draw. And now, interesting, I can kind of still keep the white dream open. I can pick another green card if I feel like green could be open a bit more. This is a better card than the Sellsword by a little margin, so I'm inclined to pick the better card here. But then again, I do have the Mythic Rare, which again isn't very exciting, so I feel like these usually come quite late. I won't be perhaps missing those 3 ones, so I don't think that even if I end up in white-red, I'm going to miss out a lot, even though I didn't pick it. Now I obviously picked the good spell land here, and that actually makes me want to play white-red, but then again, I haven't really seen much white. There was this Tazim Raptor, and of course a couple of those 3 ones, and the 3/3 4-drop as well, but they are just not very exciting. I could just take an on-color 2-drop rather than the Blight Blade. This is the better card. Okay, but I'll take this 2-drop now because I don't really have a clue if I'm actually going to play green, and the Death Toucher is nice but nothing that exciting. So even if I end up in green, it doesn't matter if I missed out on that. I just take the 3-drop for my colors now. Here we have, this is a sideboard card, good one at that, but and this is not very exciting. The Colossus, I think I'll take the sideboard card. I don't really like the Colossus that much. I'm not gonna take a black card in here. This is just a bad 5-drop usually. Okay, well this makes me want to play blue, of course. There isn't really, yeah, I mean, what else can I pick here? There's really no question. I will pick the blue card and I will try to get the blue-red wizards. I did pick this wizard in here, and then of course you don't have to play like 10 wizards because this gets the trigger from the instant and sorcery spells as well, so it doesn't really need that much of investing into the creature type. Yeah, I'll take the best card, of course. Yeah, Living Tempest, I'm not gonna put it in the deck right now. I usually draft so that I put the cards that are very unlikely to go into the main deck in this sideboard right away after the pick. Well, now there's a Royal Eruption, no questions about the pick. I would like to have another Minotaur, of course, but well, this is just the best card in the pack, so let's pick it. And it's my red is the color that I'm basically guaranteed to play anyway, so that was a simple decision. And here we could have, okay, there's the Nahiri's Binding, but I think the white train has kind of, what train? Is it not train? White ship has sailed. Sorry about that. So I'm not gonna pick the Nahiri's Binding, even though it's probably the best card in the pack. But I think because I picked his Inscription of Insight, I'm very likely to go blue-red now. And I have one field research. I could take this, which is a better 3-drop usually than the Geyser Mates, but I think I'd rather have the wizard in here now. I don't. Yeah, well, it's tough decision. It could be a better pick to take that rogue. Now, actually, in hindsight, I think it was the better pick because now that I have some party spells, well, I mean, I have this one, but this, of course, wants to have a variation of creature, variety of creature types. So now that I'm guaranteed to have wizard more often than rogue here, I maybe should have picked that rogue based on that creature type. But and now I get slightly punished because there's another card that really wants to have more than one creature type, and this is counts itself. So wizards are basically nothing for this because it will be a wizard itself. I still pick it because I have ample time to pick cards for other creature types, so that this will usually deal 2, and when this deals 2, it's fine. Okay, well, I would like to pick the uncolor dual lands and mana bases are very important in limited. I pick highly all kinds of mana fixing, and that doesn't have anything to do with this being a rare. If this was a common or uncommon, I would still pick this very highly, but of course there is a relic amulet, so I cannot really pass. This is very, very good in blue-red deck, and now I get a little bit of now that I pick this, the rogue pick doesn't matter that much because now wizards are actually something I should max out. And again, the same thing about the Syndiclasm that I said for the previous copy. I don't really like that card. I would pick it, of course, but we have a 2-drop, which we need, and it's a wizard, which is definitely something we want to have in this deck. And field research, very simply the only reasonable option in here, so no questions there. And wow, I actually tabled this one, so yeah, let's pick the best card, which I wanted to have anyway. And here we take a spell. This is a fine card, even if you don't care about milling, and this deck doesn't care about the opponent getting milled. Wow, a pretty late feed this farm for someone. I could take a good sideboard card, but I still am actually lacking these 2-drops, and I don't mind having a mix of warriors and wizards in this deck because I have these 3 cards, 1, 2, 3, which really want to have different creature types. Here the pick is Deliberate, which I'm very unlikely to play, but I won't be playing any of those others either. Okay, I can take the 2-drop. I will put it here for now because I wouldn't play a 2-drop that doesn't have a party creature type unless I really need just to fill my curve. I still have one pack left. And here, wow, 2 good cards as the last 2 picks. I think I'll just, well, it doesn't matter, I'm not gonna play them myself, and this is of course not a pod draft, so I don't have to consider any kind of hate drafting either. Hagara Mauling, wow, very good card. Of course I'm not going to pick it here. For me, less exciting options. Basically, it's a decision between the Thundering Spark Mage and Tazim Royal Mage. Molten Blast is mostly a sideboard card. In best of 3, I don't like to main deck. 3 mana for 2 damage is quite expensive. I think I still pick this one. I don't have that many kicker cards. Oh, I mean, I don't need kicker cards, but instant or sorceries. What I meant that it costs 6 mana to kick that, and I already have 2 card advantage granting cards that, well, I can cast for 3, but also for 6, so I'm not really that in need for extra card advantage. Valakut Exploration is good, but not exciting. Saloon Division is, well, it's good because it's a land as well. I don't have any, well, okay, Royal Eruption is the highlight of this deck. The Geopede is very nice too. It is, I think, one of these uncommons. I have quite a few playables here, so I think I feel confident picking this land here because it's likely that I won't be needing that. I have so many cards that picking a land is better here now because I'm more likely to end up putting it in my deck. Of course, I would have put the Geopede in my deck too, but well, I will explain it later because now I have to make a pick. This is a fine card. This is an excellent card, so let's take the excellent card. Wow. I mean, I don't have really that many kicker spells. Like when I can kick this, it could mean that the game is over anyway. But these are kicker spells. Okay, well, this is also one of those probably game-ending kicker spells. But really, what else can I pick here? I'm going to take this. If it's going to be just a 4-mana 2/2 flyer, that is unexciting. But I still can pick into the Royal or Bubble Snare, for example. Hopefully in a next couple of picks. Now I take the yet another land, definitely, and no Bubble Snare, no Into the Royal. Sadly, I'm not gonna play this Shell Shield just because I have 1 Roost of Drakes. Okay, I don't have enough party synergy. This is going to be 6 mana usually, and that's way too expensive. I think I still take this Shell Shield because it's a good sideboard card against decks that have a lot of removal. Here we have an interesting decision. I have 1 Deliberate anyway. I have also 1 Glacial Grasp. I'm not actually interested in picking 2 of either of these. So this is actually just some kind of little min-maxing. I take the 20 gems here, even though I have no black splash here. I just took the card that is in general the most advantageous, and you know, gems matter somewhat, so I do like to pick rares when there is really nothing that I'm even going to sideboard in games 2 or 3. Okay, so now we are unlikely to play anything. I'll take the Colossus. Probably won't be playing. I have here some high end, although not much. I might actually put Flash Flyer in the deck. This is Tormenting Voice is just not very good. I'd rather have this. But we'll see how the deck will look like in just a moment. I guess this is a sideboard card as well in this deck. It's a rogue though, so there is actually some... I could actually consider playing it. What is with these Feed the Swarms going this late? I don't get it. Well, okay, in theory I can splash that. Not gonna play 2 Living Tempest, so... Okay. So... let's see, I cut the lands here. And usually how I build a deck in this format is that I'd like to move like all these cards that can be lands into the side, and usually or I never really play, like I don't count these as my lands, which means that I'm going to play more than 14 basic lands in the deck, because Usually when you have a couple of these cards, you play a total of maybe like 19 to, or maybe let's say 18 to 21 lands, depending on how many you have. Sometimes I have had like maybe 6 or even 7 of these in some drafts, which is pretty amazing. In that case, I have played like 14 basics, so that the total land count, or total amount of cards that can be lands, has been 20 or 21. Well, that's not the case now because I have only 3 of these, so I'm playing 15 to 16 basic lands. I can say that right away. I did get this another 2-drop here. I'm really low on 2-drops in here, but they are still kind of, let's see, there are like 4 cards that I can play on turn 2. Of course, sometimes the opponent doesn't have a target for this, but that means when the opponent doesn't have a 2-drop, then it's not a big deal if you don't have it either. The reason why usually you just need a decent amount of 2-drops is that you don't want to really fall behind in any games where opponent is on the play and they curve out nicely and your first play happens on turn 3, they remove it, and you hitting a 2-drop there could really be the decision. I mean, it could affect the result in so that you could lose if you don't have a 2-drop, or you would have won if you did have the 2-drop. So always 2-drops are important. 5 is fine. Yeah, this is a 2-drop, but since this really doesn't have any effect on the board after you have cast a few more spells, it's not really a 2-drop in that sense. This doesn't really prevent your opponent from curving out and overwhelming you. So what this means, I just said that I will be playing 15 or 16 basic lands, which means that I have a few slots in here. I can play some of these cards. And now let's see. So I'm not gonna cut any of these, right? This is maybe something like a 6 or 7-drop. Yeah, none of these are going to get cut. This is not exciting. I mean, one of the best cards in the set. Pack one, pick one. The only card you pick this pack one, pick one always, unless the rare is some amazing bump. So this is like a mythic uncommon, or how they say. Anyway, it's not great in this deck, but it's still, even if it's now it's the reason I'm playing this is that if I get a 4-mana 2/2, it's below the curve. But if I get even one extra 2/2 from it, then it's way more than it's better value than what you usually get for 4-mana. And I have these. There's a good chance I'm kicking some of these at 6-mana, and of course, well, I can still kick this and not have the game being over at that point. So be a little bit of additional value. So I'm not going to cut this. That's basically what I was explaining here. So I'm putting at least one card in the deck. I have 7 wizards and 10 of these spells, so I have a decent amount of triggers for the relic amulet. I usually don't like to main deck this unless I'm really playing a blue-black deck, which has a lot of cards that cares about the opponent having 8 or more cards in the graveyard. Now I have 1. This is of course a very, very big difference. I mean, when you get this discount on this, it's a huge difference. So there's some additional value in having this mill effect here. I already have a Glacial Grasp that I'm not gonna cut. Not a fan of putting another Glacial Grasp in here. So I will play one of these, not only because it mills the opponent for the Lull Mage's domination, but also because it's a creature type I otherwise don't even have. I have 4 warriors, 7 wizards, so I do want to have a non-wizard party creature type in play when I play one of these. And there's a decent chance that I can have a warrior or this rogue here. So yeah, this is not a very good one now in this deck. I would have preferred to have a few more non-wizard party creature types, but it is what it is. And of course this does make these 2 cheaper as well, so this is actually a very, very good reason to be playing this. If I now added 16 basic lands, I would be at kind of a 19 19 lands. I do have these that can also help. And I have a lot of cards that these draw spells and these that can change lands into spells. So I'm not really worried about flooding out. I might just add the lands. There are some considerations for another duelist because I really have 4 of these party creatures that want to have the more than just wizards. Okay, this doesn't care what, because this applies when it's in your hand. So, but the point is that having a lot of creature types is very beneficial to this deck, because I have 2 of these and I have 2 of these. If I had like 1 of these and 1 of these, it wouldn't be such a big deal, but I will be having a lot of games where I draw at least 1 of these, which actually makes me want to consider playing just and even the other Zulaport duelist here. I could also play the Deliberate because it triggers the amulet, and I could play this because I don't have that much late game potential, but you can consider these as 6 drops too, so I won't be running out of things to do. So I'm not gonna add a very mediocre 5 drop in this deck. Doesn't even have anything, doesn't contribute to my party. So yeah, not gonna play that. So the question is, I have 3 things that I can do. I can add 16 lands and that's it, or I can add 1 spell and it would be either this or this. And I feel like, because I have the doubles of both of these, I just think I want to have the party more reliably at more than 1. So I will play another one of these guys, and I will add 15 lands. That means 18 total. I have a kind of pretty even color balance. So basically it means that I will have 9 blue sources and 9 red sources, because yeah, I can add 7 islands and I can add 8 mountains here. And of course I will change these. I can make some sideboarding choices then when it seems like that the duelist, for example, doesn't do much. No, I don't want to go there, I want to go here. So let's add 8 mountains and 7 islands. So basically one last look of the deck. If you want to see the creature curve, you can do this. I like it. You can see the curve in here as well. The curve is fine. Not the best deck, because I would have wanted to have like an Into the Roil or a Bubble Snare. I don't really have much in the way of removal here, but well, I guess these can remove some small guys. But of course the Relic Amulet is the highlight of this deck. And of course the Inscription of Insight is great as well. Yep, let's go with this. Pug Fugly. Alright then. Yeah, it's a keep. Not an exciting curve, but of course no reason to mulligan a functional hand. Opponent mulligan to 6. My 2 drops in this deck aren't very exciting, by the way. The 1/3 warriors aren't really very good cards, and well, the 2-mana 2/1 wizards, well, they are good because I need the wizard synergies for a couple of other cards, but it's not that amazing card. I would have liked to have a higher quality 2 drops in here. Okay, so let's keep the option open to actually kick that guy's a mate, so let's play this one. Yeah, I'll just offer the trade because I play wizard anyway won't be waiting to kick it because I definitely want to have the Minotaur next turn. So unless the opponent removes this guy's mage, I will have the hasty guy. My draws haven't been exciting because 3 draws, 3 lands. Could be better. It has haste. So they can cast an instant with a 2 mana. Probably is going to be the -1/-1 on an opponent creature and a +1/+1 counter on your own creature. So I might actually just not attack with the Geyser Mage. I think, yeah, because this would be a 2/3, this would be a 2/1. I don't want to give that. Let's just attack with the Haster and let's force them to keep that mana open. Now if I go to 8 mana, this will be great. Of course I can just use this without kicking. The options are good here. Hopefully the opponent doesn't have a discard 2 in here. Well, at least I have the lands in my hand, but of course I'm going to keep hitting my land drops because I might want to go to 8 mana. So they removed that. Okay. Well, now yeah, they can't really do that black spell now, so I would have attacked even if they would have left that as a blocker. Now I will get blown out by them. I will get blown out by a discard 2, but this is so good at 8 mana and I only need to draw 1 more land and I get it for 8 mana. So I would like to get the maximum benefit from the card. Okay, that's fine actually, because I can get this to be a 5/3 with this amount of mana, so I don't mind to trade, especially if I draw just a land now. It's the only thing I can do, well, apart from playing this unkicked, which I don't want to do. Alright, interesting decision there. So they didn't really leave the black mana open, so I think they don't have the trick that I was playing around earlier, and they probably just missed that this thing has haste and didn't attack because of that. So I don't really see any reason to do anything before attack, so let's see. I will use 6 mana in here if they're gonna block with the Hellion. Of course I'm not gonna jump attack with it. I don't mind skip making plays because there really isn't much to play. Okay, this is nice trade. I definitely wanted to do that. But the thing is that Casual's Fury is kind of an okay card, but I much rather guarantee this Inscription of Insight for next turn. So I'll just do it like this. They didn't pick any of these with the Hellion, so they just probably want to go to have a lot of mana available too. I guess these aren't really that exciting for them in this position. So this bounces up to 2 guys. Okay, that's dead now, so no big deal. Yeah, I don't mind just bouncing that one. I don't really get much value from the bounce, but of course I'll get a 3/3 guy and I can get 2 good quality cards because of the Scry. A target player creates, yeah, so I try to do it and you don't have a negate main deck. Or it could be the Force Spike too, of course. Would have been horrible. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I'm gonna keep the removal. I want to have, of course, some kind of creature in here, but not a 2/1. So let's not keep that. Okay, that's good. And of course I have the 3/3 creature here already. Kaza, Royal Chaser. Okay, again they did not attack with the hasty guy, but now I have here things I can play, multiple of them. So of course, it's a very safe attack. They have some kind of trick, and they don't. Well, no reason to do anything now, so let's just pass. So they are mainly okay. I don't know. They are pretty even 3 colors. I think I can't imagine they are splashing for the Geyser Mates, and then of course that's 2-drop blue card too. Or are they splashing black? Okay, they could be splashing black. Yeah, blue-red splashing black. Okay, so they don't really offer any. I'm not gonna spellcraft this 1/2 away. No reason, and I don't really see a reason to run this out. It's not gonna really be that useful. In case they have the discard too, I think. Although I don't think they are splashing that. I do have 2 of these. Yeah, these divinations with kicker, so I should play the land. Okay, well this is unexciting. I get a lot of lands in here, but they are not doing anything, so I don't know what's going on. If they have a removal, they should really remove this guy. That I cannot prevent, so bye-bye. So now I'm going to have to well, I just hope they play some kind of target for this spellcraft, because I can get rid of this with when I get another counter. Okay, that's what they're doing. Well, I'm not gonna get milled here. I mean, I'm gonna get milled if I don't kill it, but definitely will kill it now. Okay, so I guess I take 1/2 then, because there's not really much else to do. I'm not gonna just pass when I can. They are only at 6. This does only damage the creature, so I cannot really count on that to finish the game. So yeah, steal it. Okay, so there's like, it's very tempting to play the duelist here now, because it will increase my clock by somewhat significant margin, and I have a -2 effect in here anyway, so let's just do it. No, I don't want to mill myself. Alright, good. No reason to do anything pre-combat. So what are they holding? Are they just flooding out heavily? I suppose that's the case. Yeah, probably just had a lot of lands. So what did I learn from their deck? They have the crap. I don't have that much removal, so this could be problematic if they drop it early. And they are definitely splashing black for this deadly alliances, so they are blue-red basically. Well, there's not much. Okay, so I have a reason to, because Royal Eruption, a couple of these, I have actually a reason to sideboard in the Shell Shield. It's a pretty good value to counter a 4 to 5 mana spell with it. Not really, I mean, it's not exciting. I'm not gonna play the Tempest in there. I am going to cut something. It could be the Glacial Grasp. It's the kind of a it's a filler card in this deck, and I'm not really able to raise them, so this is not really an aggressive deck. Of course, likes this effect to lock down a creature, but I don't think this is the kind of deck that needs to tap out their blockers. I'm more likely try to win with card advantage, and then I have a few of these. A couple of big guys in here can steal their stuff, and of course I have this Mystic that can finish in a short order. So I will take the Glacial Grasp away, and that's it. Well, this isn't a keepable hand. Even though it is a 5, I mean, even 5 lands and 2 spells is bad, but these are really not the kind of spells you are looking to be playing early in the game. So this is definitely a keep, but what do I not want to? I don't have any way to pick up lands. So it is going to be, I'm gonna of course lose a land here, but I'm just thinking that it's better to put this into the deck. Although I don't think I have any shuffle effect, so if this is going to go to the bottom of the deck, it's going to stay there. But yeah, I can't imagine that I'm going to draw so many basic lands that I'm going to keep both of these like ready in my hand, so I don't need this. Yep, because my 2-drop is likely to, if I would draw here a land, I might just use this. This is an optional, you don't have to discard anything. Okay, well that's what I was fearing, but I do have the, once I hit double blue, I can actually cast this for 4 mana. So here we are going to, I'm not gonna discard this because I need the blue mana. It might have been a better idea to actually just play this on turn 1, but no, not exactly, because I in theory have it. If I draw a lot of lands, I won't be playing this as a land. But now that I need to cast this quite soon, I am going to likely play it as a land. But now the question here is that, do I want to trade this mountain for something else? And I don't think so, because I'd rather just play this guaranteed next turn, so I will decline it. That's right, really like, and I'm definitely not gonna discard any of other of these guys. So I can do a little bit of a bluff in here. I don't have any. Okay. Oops. No, that's fine. I got the free 2 damage in there. And next turn I'm likely going to play the Sylvan Division as a land, unless I draw a untapped land. Then of course there's a chance I want to play this Inscription. Oh, they are really going deep with the mill. Okay. I might actually get milled here now. Doesn't take that much. Few land drops and I'm dead. Well, that is nice too. Now any land that is untapped will make me be able to get rid of this guy. I can get milled once, but it will become pretty problematic if I don't hit my 5th land very soon. Okay, no attacks here. Now if I do, I of course have this domination in here. I don't have that many islands in here, so I can I'm in a good position to win if I hit this land drop, which I did. So now I will simply attack with the Mystic. I don't care about taking damage from this right now. So let's do it like this. And get rid of this crap. Okay, so my draw spells aren't that great now. Did I get all of them milled? Field research. No, none of them. So they are pretty bad draws now. Okay, so the Minotaur. This costs. I would need 8 mana to capture this one, unless they somehow use so many. Well, I guess it's not impossible for them to get 3 more cards in their graveyard. Yeah, that's exactly the card I didn't need to draw here. So they are also, of course, raising me, so I need to actually be careful about the damage as well. Too bad they are having at least 2 of those deadly, what's that, deadly alliances. Not optimal. So I have 2 options in here. I can bounce this Hellion and this Wizard. in here and I can go. But you know, it doesn't make any sense to do that right now. I can take a hit from there anyway. But I probably, I don't know if I'm supposed to trade this. They will attack for 6, maybe even more. So yeah, I will block this wizard with this guy. So let's attack like this. Okay, they go for the jump. That's fine because that actually unlocks my Fissure Wizard to go through with the attack. So well, now they maybe realize that. Okay, yeah, that's. I saw those 2 of those game 1. That's not really a surprise. So I can actually capture this Teeter Peak ambusher. So there is something. Yeah, I need to go with the. Okay, this is interesting because now I can actually get the flyer from there. They weren't really interested in. Do they have some additional mill card? Because why aren't they raising me? They are. It's quite interesting actually, because now I'm very tempted to just capture this wizard now that I drew the 6th land. I can attack for. Yeah, this is definitely going to be the play here. Because now I have 2 guys attacking in the air and I have this bounce spell in here. Yeah, sure. Bubble snare on that. Yeah, I can bounce that mystic. Oh yeah, thank you for the field research. Very useful. Yeah, I don't think I can really. If I had if I drew a 7th land, it could be a good option to bounce also this mystic. But since I can't, if I bounce it, I can't play it this turn, so it just makes a lot more sense to bounce these guys, attack for 4, and hopefully they don't have an answer for this wizard next turn. So bounce 2 guys, just like this. Do I want to? I think I do want to, because I'm definitely not playing this field research, and I might need to still get some additional source of damage into play, because if they remove this flyer and get any blocker for the wizard, then I cannot attack for lethal. So I'm actually almost tempted to play the field research, but no, I really cannot do that, because that would leave me so few turns. So 2 unknown cards. They need to deal with both of these. That's good. They get that one back, and now I can. Well, I think if I would have drawn a, say, let's say a land, I would have probably played this field research in hopes to get something to deal with this blocker, but I don't have to because I drew it naturally. So tight game. The turn 1 crap is of course very threatening. Okay, by the way, there's a nice glitch in Arena. I hope they're gonna fix it quite soon, because this is very misleading information here. 1 game remaining, it shouldn't, because I definitely have 2 matches remaining, because the traditional draft works so that you can always play all 3 rounds if you want to. But if you start 0-2, it doesn't really, you don't have to play the 3rd round for prizes, because you get the same price of 1 pack, whether you go 0-3 or 1-2. But of course, if you just want to play another match, you can do it. Anyway, I've played now 1 match and it says 1 game remaining. Someone might actually resign now if they don't remember that they actually have only played 1 match. So this definitely should be fixed very soon. Also, the game is actually the wrong term in here too. It should be a match, because a best of 3 match consists of up to 3 games usually. Well, I guess could be more if some game gets drawn, but anyway. So the correct term here should be 2 matches remaining. So we are up against Este Bandit. This time I get the won the die roll again. Oh, pretty awkward. If one of these lands was in blue source, I would keep it, but now I have to mulligan this. And of course I have this triple blue here, which is very unlikely to be happening anytime soon with that hand. No, now this is a good one. I will actually... I don't want to actually... Because I have now a couple of good things to consider. First of all, I could go for mana efficiency, like Teeter Pig Ambusher into turn 3 Electromancer, that then I have 2 mana to cast this, but of course I want to play this Relic Amulet before I play the Electromancer, so I might even consider losing this, but not really. I have 3 lands, I'm not gonna keep 4, although this could be a spell, but I will... The one thing also is that I could actually just bottom this, because I'm very likely to play this as a land, and I don't wanna... I don't have any ways to pick up lands in this deck, so even if I play it on turn 1, I'd rather have it in the bottom of my deck if I would have to shuffle my deck in somehow, but I don't think I have any way to shuffle. But yeah, let's just have all untapped lands. I actually might have been... Oh, no, I just wanted to go 2-3. I didn't want to gamble. I could have... Yeah. I could have kept a spell and instead... That's nice. I can kill this with the Spark Mage. I mean, I could have kept the... What's this? Kazul's Fury, whatever. In hopes of drawing an untapped land, which I did do. But if I didn't do that, it would have been like a pretty awkward to miss a drop there. I guess I could have played it on turn 3 as tapped land and still have a play with this. So yeah, maybe something to consider. That wasn't maybe an optimal way to go. However, now that I did, I can actually curve out nicely to my 4-drop, which I drew. I can kill this guy, and I have this amulet at 2, and very soon at 3, because I also drew this Royal Eruption, so things are looking very good. Also, opponent played a card that doesn't really do anything right now, so they basically wasted a card so far. Okay, now that let me see. No, I think I like the curving out here better, because now I can play this and the Teeter Pig Ambusher, so I can tap down something that I can't even remove. Some big thing comes, and I can tap it for 2 turns. Like that, for instance. And I will actually go to 5 counters maybe quite soon. Anyway, let's tap it down. Wow. Okay, that kind of stuff. So currently I don't have a way to get a 5th counter, but there are plenty of stuff in the deck that can do so. Although, well, I have just a win now, unless they have a land at 1 mana. Yeah, okay. I won the game now, because I can just remove this guy and attack for lethal. I don't even have to pump this guy. 6 damage, 6 life. Okay, well that was smooth. Relic Amulet is quite good, but of course I also got a 2 fun with this Spark Mage. It was quite ideal draw for me after all. So is there any kind of sideboarding business? This opponent is playing 3 colors too. Not really sure if that is... Is it like a black splash again? It seems like that. This is a fine card to splash if you have the mana base to enable the splash. Although they have quite a few black sources. Unless they drew like they're all splash color, they could be a... They could also be more like an even 3-color deck. Not really anything. Didn't see that much. One big guy. I have something I can do. Well, not a lot. Glacial Grasp, Cunning Geyser Mate. I can use my own 5/4s. So is there something in here that I really want to have, like a Living Tempest? Not really. Not a fan of siding that in. I think it's just a... This time I won't be sideboarding. I need more information from their deck. If it goes to game 3, I can maybe decide otherwise. I think I'm gonna keep this hand because I can lose an unimportant card. I have 2 lands and I can dig deeper with this, so I will keep this now. I have both my colors here. Also, if I didn't have both colors, it would be a different decision, probably. Okay, opponent mulligan 2/6. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to... Okay, that's great. I'm actually considering just playing the Ambusher because there's not really much I want to discard currently, and I might want to get them trigger for this from the wizard. So even though this has less power than this guy, it might make sense to actually choose to play like this. Okay, you can get my Mystic. Definitely the Mystic is gonna go now. But it's fine because now I can actually do a quite nice... Okay, now that they have a knowledge about this duelist, it's really not that valuable, and I don't want to discard my 4th land because I can just play the... I will actually trade that into a fresh card. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, let's attack and get our flyer. Looking good so far, but of course I have a pretty weak force, so if they have anything to block in the ground and some kind of answer for my flyer, then it's different. They could easily stabilize. But now I'm just going to... I wonder if I'm supposed to just keep the... Yeah, I'll play this one. I don't have another red source, I can't double spell here, but I'd rather keep this in hand, and maybe if I draw another basic land, then I can just use this to trade it into something better. Now, either they are flooding out or they are really having their... seeing the drawback of playing a 3-color decks if they have blue cards in there. Wow. Well, the Minotaur means that I definitely am going to now dig for a mountain in here. I might actually do it pre-combat, because if I draw a mountain, then I can pump either of these two. Being Whale there, I don't really think there could be this flash. Okay, the flash 2/1 guy. Alright, okay, it's enough. I don't want to trade with this. Yeah, I'd rather keep this alive if they had that card. But they didn't, so it seems pretty I mean, there's no mass removal for these colors, so oh, there is actually that 5 mana black card that exiles everything with CMC of 3 or less. That could have really been a nasty draw from there. But then again, I would have still been end of turn duelist there at 5, and then if I drew with a mountain, then this still would have been a 5-cost haster, so it wouldn't have been the complete end of the game, even if they had the Wrath. I don't remember what the name of that card is. Okay, so yeah, now yeah, you can see this glitch in action. So after your first match, it says 1 game remaining, and while you in truth in reality you have 2 matches remaining. Now after 2 matches it says 1 games remaining. Now even I know English enough that this is of course just a, you shouldn't really say 1 games. So now it should say, well, it should say 1 match remaining, but if they insist on using this wrong terminology, at least they should really just use the same text as for the previous case of 1 game remaining. And that's something that really happened sometime this summer, because earlier this year it was fine. It showed the correct amount. It still wasn't talking about matches, but it still, at least the number was correct. So I went first in each of these. I won the die roll in each match. I think I won the die roll in the first match too. But even though I have a nice mana base of 9 blue sources and 9 red sources, I still seem to have some trouble getting by both colors. And the hand is very nice if one of these produced blue mana. I'm just not gonna take the risk. Now this is a best of 3 mode, so if you are not aware, in Magic the Gathering Arena the so-called starting hand algorithm doesn't apply to best of 3 matches. So there is, in best of 1 you are more likely to get like a 3 lands in your starting hand. That doesn't apply in best of 3. It's just pure random. I will mulligan this because if I don't draw a blue source in like 3 or 4 draw steps, it's really gonna be bad, so I have to go to 6 here. And this is fine because now actually this has a... Do I need double red? I need double red for my... Okay, I have red mana in here if I need to play it as a land, so I definitely... Because I need double blue for my kicker spells. So yeah, I have now potential to actually play this as a 2 damage dealing card, which makes it fine. Oh, even 3 might be possible, but I think unlikely perhaps. Okay, well, I might have just enough time to... Okay, so here's the thing. I would like to just play the Mystic, and I would definitely if I had an untapped 3rd land. I mean 4th land. But I can't get this thing go out of control. It will be a 2-2, then it will be a 3-3. Yeah, I can't just take that risk. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to attack for 1 and play this thing tapped to make sure that I can, because this is something you can just lose to. I have an answer in my hand, so I don't want to gamble. Especially if they tap out on something, then this is a very safe play. If they don't, I might even consider playing this duelist to make another, to make a bigger party for me. But I'm not going to play it now just to prevent 2 damage. I want to see what happens post-combat. I hope they play some kind of a 3-drop I can deal with. I mean, doesn't matter. Can I deal with it, because I definitely have to deal with this. But if they play a 3-drop, then that means that burn-based removal will be sufficient to kill the fledgling. Now there is this one mana white card that boosts +2/+2. So there is no reason to play this duelist now, because even if I dealt 3 damage, the same boost spell would help there. So I'm just going to do it like this, and I definitely am going to attack. It's a pretty free attack at the end. If they have a boost spell, maybe they even use it for this Gnarled Colony. Doesn't seem like they have anything, because I don't see... It seems like they are skipping through their priorities, so one of these arena gimmicks that you sometimes can see that opponent doesn't have anything when they automatically skip their priorities. Okay, anyway, this is definitely something I have to do, so let's get rid of that. Phew. So now we are back to a normal game. No snowballing out of control. Now I still did mulligan, so this 2-for-1 just kind of evened the situation. and my board presence is not that impressive, but then again this Mystic can do some nice damage unless they have one of those white flyers. Their 3/4 Cleric for 5 is there. That could stop this one quite efficiently. Okay then. Don't really see any reason to not attack, so let's go. Okay, they didn't do anything on turn 4 with... They had 5 cards. What's going on? I mean, I don't mind, but I don't think these games have been that challenging, or these matches. Even though I have mulliganed a couple of times, I've still drawn very nicely, and opponents haven't done that impressive things. Okay, then I play the 6th land so I can double boost the Ambusher, but other than that, I'm not gonna tap it down. I'm not close enough to finishing them, so I don't need to do that kind of stuff now. I don't mind if they are going to trade with the Spark Mage. I'm just wondering why they aren't trading with the Spark Mage. What are they going to do with this Knowledge Colony? I don't really see, but now I'm just gonna max out the damage output in here, and let's see if they now have something. Smite the Monstros, yeah. Alright. It's a card I never myself main deck in this format, because there are a lot of decks that don't really play any high power creatures, so had I stopped to think about that, I might have left it at 1 boost, but oh well, at least now I know it. By the way, I have these duelists in the deck that actually are quite good at countering that Smite the monsters. I'm not sure about the Being Whale. Does it say that the opponent's creatures? I'm not sure if it's target player or opponent. Anyway, it doesn't look very good for me now, because I did lose that guy for no reason, but I definitely have to tap this down, draw a card, make it a bigger guy. Skewed Swarm isn't there, okay. And the Kite Sail, I don't think it's a very good card. But yeah, I have no reason to keep... Well, okay, actually I do. I have these 2/1 wizards that I can trade this land for something better. I do have also card draw spells, which mean that you should play a lot of your land drops, but I want to be able to ditch that mountain if I draw one of those 2/1s. Anyway, I play this now so that I get extra damage with the flyer. They are only at 5 mana currently. I guess that now that I didn't play this mountain, I lose the option to play this duelist. Okay, so that's why they didn't do anything on an earlier turns, because they really have this high drops in here. And another Kite Tail. I would advise against running 2 of these. Like, I would never run 2 of these cards. I would very rarely run even 1. But now I actually just drew the nuts here, so let's win. Okay, so they have Smite the Monstros. I think they are definitely supposed to sideboard it out. They didn't see these 5/4s in here, and usually blue-red doesn't have that many high power creatures, in this format at least. Let's just check the Being Whale. Creatures your opponents control, so I cannot counter the Smite the Monstros with this card. But I will definitely be leaving these duelists in now, because it's a very nice response to the Smite. Skewed Swarm, okay, and the Fledgling, and then big boys. Don't really... Okay, another Glacial Grasp is actually something that's worth considering here. I think I will sideboard it in, because they have 2 of those. Another option is to just put the Living Tempest, because it seems like I can attack. Well, no, actually, they have doubled the kite sail, so no, I'm not gonna play aside the Tempest. I cannot really reliably trust that I will be able to win through the air, because they do have those equipments that grant flying to anyone. But I do want to maybe play this Glacial Grasp, but what do I need to cut? Because I don't really... It's a pretty tight package, there isn't really that much things to cut, and I don't feel like cutting a land. Sometimes you can cut a land, because after all I am playing... well, no, I'm just playing 18 lands, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna cut a land. Sometimes it makes some sense, because of course in a regular limited format you usually play 17 lands, which is fine. But with this deck I'm not gonna go below 18. I just need to find something to cut. I'm not sure if I can find anything. It's just... I would cut the duelist here, but I just want to... oh boy. Okay, I'm on the draw, so... I'm on the draw now, so I don't get the grasp. Maybe if it goes to game 3, I might on the play try to be a bit of more aggressive and play the grasp. But on the draw, it's not that useful maybe to tap things down. Yeah. Okay, this hand is good if I draw a land, but then of course I'm not gonna mulligan this just because I might lose if I don't draw a third land. There's a higher chance to draw it than not. And there's no reason to run this Roost as a 1-mana spell. Sometimes it can be. If you know you are gonna kick something on your next turn, then it might be reasonable to run the Roost. Okay, so now soon is the moment of the truth. I can still have a play for next turn, but I would much rather, of course, draw the land and not bother with the Teeter Peak Ambusher. Scythe Cat. Okay, well I drew a land. I'm not gonna whine here. So they're gonna have another land, and I'm gonna be facing a 3-3 and 3-2. Can't even block here. So they can actually just win. If I can't... If they keep on hitting their land drops, then I won't be winning this game in that case. So I could play this Electromancer and have 2 mana, but they don't really help me. I have to play the card draw spell and hope to draw more lands. That did indeed happen. Not a blue source, so I can't play the duelist. I'm not gonna block here. I mean, it tramples. Well, I mean, I would still be able to. I suppose it might have been a good idea to play this after all, because then it could block this, but the problem is that I needed the lands to just... I need to hit my land drops, and if I played this I wouldn't have got a land drop. But yeah, that's of course a very good curve now that I don't have any Royal Eruption here. Of course would have been quite different. I have the amulet, but now it's just way too slow. So still can't do anything amazing here, because I can play the Electromancer, get 2 mana, and yeah, I mean this on turn 2 is like very good when you can't answer it, because it just keeps on growing. And now that they also had this 3-drop, they don't really need anything else in here. I'm just trying to figure out if there is a way to win, because both of these are something I need to answer, and there's no way I can answer them both right now. I don't even have the blue source for the duelist. I can of course play the Glacial Grasp here, but I just don't... I think I have to play the Grasp and nothing else. That's the problem here, because the Grasp is what keeps me alive at least one turn, so let's pass. And I probably have to just... I'm not probably... I will have to soak up the 3 damage there, just not to die. Okay, that's a good one too. Yeah, I mean, if I had No, Duelist wouldn't do much. I mean, it would prevent like... Well, it would prevent 2 damage. Anyway, this is a must now. If they have the 6-5 Trampler, that's game over. And they do. So yeah, they have 11 points of trample damage, even though this stays locked for 1 more turn. This I would have needed earlier. There's no bounce in here. Yeah, I suppose that inscription, but is that a double caster? I don't think so. The kicker is... Okay, I don't know, it doesn't matter. So, I can't block these. They trample over too much. And there's nothing I can do about it. So yeah, they just opened up with this pretty nice set of plays, and I didn't have the answers I needed. So now I can again consider the Glacial Grasp, but I don't really... Yeah, this is not a double caster. It requires 3 blue when you kick it, but it's just a single caster as a 4 mana spell. So even though these ambushers and these 2-drops aren't anything exciting, I just I need to have some 2-drops, and they are contributing to this party business I have going on. So, well, okay, the wizards don't contribute to this Thundering Spark Mage, but anyway, they do contribute to Relic Amulet and the Umara Mystic. So basically, if I would take this Glacial Grasp in, I would take the Duelist out. I'm not convinced it's such a great idea, but it... Okay, let's try it. Okay, let's try it. Yeah, let's go. Because they do have those 6/5s, and I don't really have a good way to get rid of them, so tapping 1 for 2 turns might just be the best thing I can do. Okay, so... Well, I have all red cards, decent cards. I can use the wizards to dig deeper. I think I will... No, actually, the Teeter Pick Ambusher is quite nice now, because I have the Spark Mage. So I'm gonna do just this now, and next turn I can go Electromancer into Fissure Wizard. Let's see if they have it. Yeah, they might of course have several of those. But now it doesn't matter, because I will have the turn 4 Spark Mage here, so which will be dealing 2 damage. Thing is, though, that I'm not going to actually use this ability from this wizard, because I don't wanna discard anything in here, because of course I would like to find an island, but because I need to be able to cast this next turn, I'm not going to take the risk. I have of course the backup of Roller Eruptioning it, but still, I mean, if the next draw is an island, it's very sad, but I mean, that's the best case scenario. That would have been the best case scenario for the Fissure for using that. Okay, so what's this? They are okay. It's a green-white landfall deck, quite good one, probably because I also saw this gold uncommon, this Root Grazer, Murasa Root Grazer, whatever. It's a very nice card to ensure you have a lot of landfall going on, and yeah, they do have several of those, but luckily I do have answer for both of them. So I think I'm going to offer the trade to this Fissure Wizard. I'm sure they are not gonna do it, but I don't mind leaving the Royal Eruption for a later moment. Yeah. But yeah, now this Spark Mage is very good, but still they can... Well, I suppose they can re-equip and hit for 4 in the air, but that would take the entire turn, so I think they're just gonna go land, attack for 2, but now I actually have here a pretty much of a ground force. What's this style? Pretty interesting looking. So yet another landfall card. They have actually pretty nice landfall stuff going on. Gladly I did drew here now pretty well, despite not having a blue mana source at all. It's actually quite funny. So what I'm doing here, I don't need to, because I'm of course going to roll Eruption this fledgling, or am I? Yeah, I think I have to. But yeah, I will offer the trade to this 2-1 definitely. I have to consider, if they don't take the trade, I have here a 2, 5, 6, 7. This is 8 damage in fact. They're going to 5. So I'm actually having lethal next turn unless they gain life somehow. Let's see how much damage they can. Because if I boost this now, they will be at 3 unless I miscounted. 2, 4, 7, 8. And I could get to 10 with the boost, so they would be at a 3, and this Royal Eruption would be killing them. But let's see how risky that is. They will be able to. A land drop will make this a 2, 3. This will be a 4, 4. That's 6 damage. I'm at 7. Even if they do this, I don't think they can get. Yeah. I mean, of course, my attacks are probably going to be lethal next turn as well. So this actually might have been an unnecessary risk to use the boost spell. But still, if I use the Royal Eruption on this fledgling right now, and they play something good to hold the ground, they would have been like, they actually would have been at 5 now. I wouldn't have had Royal Eruption. I still would have had all my guys. But I just don't see how they are going to make additional damage. I mean, even with all this re-equip and land drop, that was 8, 5 with these mana. It doesn't really. Yeah, there's the green kicker spell, but of course it requires 5 mana to deal the 5. So I think that was the correct decision. Anyway, this was the conclusion of this draft, and I actually did end up going 3-0, which is nice. That doubled my entry fee. I don't of course need those pack rewards in any way because I have a full Zendikar Rising set. So let's just open all these now. So yeah, this was my video of traditional draft. I'm not really sure if I'm going to make like a lot of these. Oh, I got a mythic, but yeah, I have mythics filled too, so 40 gems it is. I probably will make some more videos, but if you like this kind of content, maybe you just can leave some comment in the comment field. I would like to get some feedback, and of course if you have something like to say about something about my draft picks, if you disagree with them, if you disagree with something I made during the games, because I can say, wow, another mythic in 7 cards, 2 mythics. I say one thing, I have made some videos earlier, a few years ago. They were not made in English, but that's not really a big difference. But point is that it is much harder to focus on the games when you are explaining, especially as I'm sure those who have done this for years don't really have any issues with that. But for me, it was very much more taxing to think about the decisions, and I think there might have been some mistakes that I would not have made if I didn't commentate while I play. But that's it for this video, so maybe I will see you in the next one then. Bye bye.